I'd like you to get your enterprise project manager head on for a second, and imagine that you are a sort of big fat cat in an organization, or maybe you could be in a smaller organization, and you're an entrepreneur doing exciting development projects. How do you work out which of the products you're going to take to market, and which ones aren't going to make you any money and you shouldn't waste any more time on? Well, one of the ways you do this is you buy a big, expensive enterprise product to do it, and it usually comes with a lot of implementation and a lot of expense, or you do it on a spreadsheet. We're trying to do what Salesforce did for CRM. We're trying to bring that to the cloud, make it cheaper, make it easier, make it available to everybody. This is basically saying that all of these rows here, these all represent projects that we're working on, or products if you like. This one here is a solo copter, for example. Nice idea. It's going to make us about £90 million. So hang on a second, why the hell then are we doing these guys down here? It's amazing how people don't have the visibility of that. So that's basically what the product does in a nutshell. What we can do with it is we can say, right, okay, well, I don't know why we're doing this guy down here, this freedom project, but we can go and have a look at, maybe it's a strategic project. Maybe there's some reason we're doing it. Well, no, not really. It's not really in our favorite square. We've rated all these projects on a scorecard, beg your pardon, of technology versus importance to the market, and we can tell that these guys, they're in the sweet spot. So those are looking pretty good. If we take them over to what they cost to build, sort them in Pareto order, we can get a feel of how that stuff works. And what we can also do is we can go into scenario planning, and we can see what happened if we did some other projects. For example, if we did this project here, how would that affect the net present value? So you can see the numbers changing in sort of instantaneously. And we'd use this as a discussion point, basically decide what we were going to work on next. Down here, there's something you guys might relate to. It's a startup checklist. These are all things that you need to do if you're running in a startup. This is actually done by a guy that works at Microsoft Ventures. So there's this is your inception phase. This is your beachhead. This is your competitive vision. So you guys could all be using this to basically manage your own products and just tick off these check boxes. And as you go through, you'll get a feel for how it's shaping up against other stuff in the company, or if it's not shaping up, and you can manage the risk you've got. And that's essentially it's a reporting tool for new product development. So we're looking for some feedback on how we might better market this. Also on pricing. Our pricing is currently set at $50. So vary by country, but on exchange rate. But $50 for the pro version, where you'll get plenty of customization, and with that you get lots of support. And essentially it's an enterprise product at that level. $25 entry level basic. You get some canned templates, and we get you kicked off and started. And you can start managing your projects, and it feeds up into the reports. Obviously, it doesn't require a company install. Anybody can go in. You can go in as an individual, just like Gmail, and you can start working with it straight away. And we can roll that up some point later if you want us to.
Big round of applause, please.
As a former program manager, admittedly not a portfolio manager of many years, I think the best thing about this is it doesn't look anything like any of the Microsoft stack. Because it's actually usable, and it looks quite obvious, and it's so easy to actually get key data out of it. The only challenge I kind of have with looking at it is trying to figure out whether it's a portfolio selection tool or a portfolio tracking tool. And it may well be that portfolio tracking is a totally separate area where people do drop into like Microsoft Project and that kind of thing. But as a portfolio selection tool, it's really neat, and maybe it just needs a bit more of the what-if type capability built.
Okay, so more of the scenario planning, you mean? Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I mean, there's a lot of things we'd like to do with this. For example, setting targets and showing when those targets have been breached. So I want to set a budget at a particular rate, draw a line on there and say, look, this is what we're trying to achieve. And ultimately, that's what we're trying to do, but it's not as clear as we'd like it to be. We might be trying to get this, for example, this number here down to 500 million. And then we can play with this by turning things off. Well, there we go, easy one. Can that project then, kill it, it's dead. Give him a ring, that's gone. And that's the fine tuning. But yeah, there are more things that we could do there, certainly, yeah. And I think we've got plans on the roadmap, for example, for a whole news feed. We've got this guy, for example, that we think of this role of a character that's just stepped off a plane, and he gets in the back of his chauffeur-driven car, and he's got an iPad, and he says, right, who am I going to fire today? What's the quickest bit of information I can find out? I just want to know what's up, what's down, what have I got to work on today? So we're going for that sort of, that news spread, if you like. And we'd certainly like to have it, very magazine-ish. Thank you.